Welcome, everyone.
What would you do if you had my life? Work like me, had them stripes. Would you go hard just to have that ice? But I'm just fair trying to have that price. Any yo cooking about to add that spice. Nowadays dudes never had that fight. When it push bill, better burst your pipes.
The NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by the SGPN app. Get all of our picks and podcasts with the free SGPN app. Yes, sir. We are back with a special edition of the NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. No me, no the voice of the guys. Me, really Ralph in the road. Terrell Furman Jr. here at your service.
Bing bang, bing bang, bing bang, bing bang, bing bang. Bing bang, bing bang, bing bang, bing bang, bing bang, bing bang.
We could do this all day. We could honestly do this all day. I told you. I said it all. I said if there was a situation for them to win, this is the situation that would have to happen. You get a San Antonio team that's way too young and not ready for the moment, and you put them up against a room full of dogs. I mean, first off, I have to thank Leon Rose. Thank Leon Rose for building a culture in the Knicks locker room that says it doesn't matter what happened before us. He told James Dolan I forgot James Dolan was even a person. He hadn't been saying anything. He had been quiet. He shut up. He faded into the background. Leon Rose made that happen. At least I assume. And so I have to thank him. I have to thank Leon Rose for assembling this NBA championship level team together. And it starts with first, the signing of Jalen Brunson. When people said that that was too much money to spend on somebody that was unproven. When people said that he was too small. Damn the people. Becky Hammond said he was too small. Oh, he can't be a 1A guy. No. It's too small. It's too small. That's a small guard herself. It's like the pot calling the kettle black. I mean, oh my gosh. Small guard herself. He can't win. No. You got to have a dude. A dude. That's what she said. You got to have a dude. Guess what? San Antonio, they got a dude. What his name was? Victim Wembanyama. That's what his name. So, I thank Leon Rose for bringing Jalen Brunson. I think all of the Jalen Brunson critics, me included in the beginning, because that fueled him for the moment that we saw just a couple of days ago. And the moment we're about to see on Thursday at that parade. I like to then thank Leon Rose for making the trade for Josh Hart, making the trade for OG Anunoby, making the trade for Karl Anthony Towns, making the trade for Mikal Bridges, all who led to us winning this championship. So many other people. Who else I got to thank? Oh, 4. Whoa, 4. Thank you so much. Hey, I can't wait until you get your ring, 4. We got to make sure we get you one. It might be a plastic. It could be candy, but we gonna get you. We gonna send you a ring, 4. I appreciate. My first son might be named De'Aaron just because of that. Just because of this series, my first son, his name might be De'Aaron. Thank you. I'd also like to thank Leon Rose, going back to Leon Rose, for firing Tibbs. Oh my gosh, look what happens in year 1 after you fire Tibbs. Look what happens. Oh, NBA championship. We fired Tibbs year 1, NBA championship. Just like that. By the way, if you're not abstaining from sex, trying to win a championship, get your priorities in order. Get them in order. Like, what are we? It's going to be a long season until somebody else wins a championship. I'm going to tell you that right now. Officially, best team in the world. Scott's New Year Right Show. Scott, what's going on?
Scotty, beat me up.
Surprise.
Yeah, I feel like you skipped the name that I have to include in your victory speech for people you got to thank. If you're going to thank 4, you have to thank Mitch Johnson. I mean, you can't forget about Mitch Johnson.
We're gonna get you a little plastic candy ring too. Hey, you wanna know what was? I actually, Scott, this is like firsthand information. Nobody knows this, but I have the Spurs play sheet that Mitch Johnson was looking at right here in front of me, Scott. It's crazy. You want to see it? Everybody,
Yeah,
you ready?
Man, yeah. Inside scoop here.
See it?
Yeah,
it is focused.
There aren't many words.
It is focused. It's focused, by the way.
Yeah, there aren't many words on this paper, from what I can tell.
Shout out to Mitch Johnson, man. Ah! He did nothing.
He really did nothing.
Didn't call a timeout. Didn't even ask them to do anything else.
Kept Fox in the fourth quarter.
Is he the Jason Garrett of the NBA?
That implies Garrett would make it to a Super Bowl, so that's a little bit much. I don't know if Garrett would ever get that far. So it's kind of the weird part about Mitch Johnson, though, because they did beat OKC. So, you have to give him some props. On the other hand, you saw J-Dub and Mitchell both get injured. So it was definitely a worse version of OKC than expected. And I personally think if both those guys were healthy, then they would have beaten the Spurs. But that's not the Spurs' problem. They dealt with who was in front of them. They won. They went into OKC and won in Game 7. But the Spurs are one of the dumbest NBA Finals teams in not even recent memory, just ever. They led by double digits in every single game and lost in 5. It's almost impossible to do. They blew a 29-point lead in Game 4 and responded by blowing a 16-point lead in Game 5. OG, of course, shout out to him with the tip in, of course, but
he was trying to dunk it.
Yeah, that's a ridiculous dunk if you pull that off. What are you, Vince Carter? How the hell are you going to dunk that? But it's like a Blake Griffin tomahawk. How the hell are you supposed to dunk that? But either way, nice putback layup. But the point is, the Spurs did everything that blew the first couple games of the series once again in Game 5. And it felt like I was watching the same game 4 times in a row or not really 4 times in a row because the Spurs did win one, of course. The 4 losses
and
looked exactly the same.
There's one glaring thing about the one loss. One glaring person that was in attendance that didn't show up at any other game. We could have been out of here already, Scott.
I was going to ask, though, does that mean that Knicks fans are now cool with Trump because they won anyway? So now they can't really blame him.
He's the reason they lost the one game.
Yeah, but you can imagine the alternative, which is the Spurs winning 4 in a row after he shows up, and then nobody ever lets him forget it. But I don't know. I feel like you can kind of brush it off, can't you?
No. He's
not really.
He's 100% in losses. If he showed up to every game throughout the series, we'd be talking about how the Knicks got swept. It's a Bush to one game. We could have been on the parade. We could have been getting this spiel. We could have been done with the season. We could have been over everything. But you know what? It doesn't matter because my team bleeds blue and orange. And it's just the I told you so's of nobody fucking with the Knicks in the fourth quarter. The amount of I told you so's. First of all, real quick, I want to make sure everybody goes and checks out the World Cup Gambling Podcast. The World Cup Gambling Podcast for all the daily World Cup picks going on. Shout out to my guy Malcolm, Boz, all of them over there. World Cup Gambling Podcast. Go check them out. And another reminder that you can't fuck with the Knicks in the fourth quarter. No lead is safe. No lead is safe. At this point, no lead is safe. The Knicks lost 2.5 games.
Yeah,
Fine.
three
Officially
total games in the entire playoffs.
And it was like 6 points of difference.
And it was one game in the last 3 rounds combined. So there you go. But look, I'll segue a little bit into Game 5 because, of course, the Knicks winning is a great story. Good for the Knicks. Very easy team to root for. Of course, as a Nets fan, I was not rooting for them, but I acknowledge what they were doing, and I kept betting on them. I know both of us swept our lock and dog picks because we ended up giving out Knicks plus 5.5 and Knicks money line. We just copied and pasted each other's plays, and it got there, so not really a shock to us. But the real story, once again, in Game 5 with the Spurs collapsing was the offense falling apart, Wemby actively running away from the basketball the entire fourth quarter. Fox was horrendous and at no point got benched in the game, which was embarrassing. He played 37 minutes. Do you realize how bad Fox was, by the way? Like, do you remember the stat line in your mind?
Do I remember the stat line? No. I just remember I yell forward us whenever De'Aaron Fox does a play that helps the Knicks, and I yelled it for like damn near the entire game.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you, though, because you're the Knicks fan. If I told you Fox played 37 minutes and you know he was bad in the game, do you want to guess what his stat line was for Game 7? Or for Game of 5, I mean.
And I know he was bad.
Yeah. You know he was bad, but like, do you realize how bad he actually was?
I mean, he probably shot some like 20, 30%.
Well, we'll start at the points. Do you want to guess how many points he had?
What do you have, like 7?
That is correct. He had 7 points.
Okay.
Do you want to guess his field goals and threes?
Field goals, he had 2 field goals.
No, I'm saying, like, do you want to guess the like field goals made and field goals attempted?
Oh, what, 2 for 10?
Okay. So I'm going to correct you after, but just keep going. For threes,
Maybe it might be 1 for 10.
How do you think he did for threes? No, Castle won 1 for 10.
Oh, Castle went 1 for 10.
Yeah. For threes, how do you think he did?
Did he make a 3? He did make a 3. He made 1. I said 4 with us and a brick from the corner. I said 4 with us and a brick on the other side. I said 4 with us, but a brick on that side of the court. 1 for, let's just go ahead and give me an extra 1. 1 for 5.
Okay, and what about free throws?
Oh, he took any?
That is the right answer. That is correct. 0 free throws.
Like,
that is correct. That is correct. He had no free throws in the entire game.
I was like, wait, what? I don't remember that one.
That is correct. So to correct you, De'Aaron Fox had 7 points in 37 minutes after blowing Game 4 on the, of course, a layup and etc. They might have lost the game anyway, but still, points after that. He no-showed the game. 7 points, 3 of 15 shooting, 1 of 8 from 3, 0 free throws.
And
1 of 8 from 3.
He just signed an extension in the offseason.
Yes, he did. Getting paid $50+ million for the next 4 years.
And like Mitch Johnson said, in the fourth quarter, the ball will be in his hands. I was so glad it was in his hands.
Yeah, and it literally was in his hands, and that did not work out. So there you go. But I want to call out Wemby, though, who...
Victim Wemby Nyama.
Guy ran away from the ball again in the fourth quarter.
Literally going up to the rim pass.
Pretty much. Like one of the only shot attempts he had was the meaningless three-pointer at the end, which he bricked, which counts as a shot attempt, but not really. He missed it anyway, but they were down 4 with like 2 seconds left. That doesn't count. He did not want the ball the entire fourth quarter. After blowing that jump shot in Game 2, he was a complete non-factor in crunch time.
Missed free throw.
3 games. Yeah, he did miss a free throw. He didn't miss both this time, so a little bit of an upgrade. But he
No,
did
so
miss one.
I was literally saying it would be so insane. Like, he's not going to miss this one because he knows it would be insane if he missed both. But the fact that he already missed this one says that he's not ready for the moment.
They missed a couple at the end. I think Harper missed a couple.
Castle.
Wemby missed one. Castle missed one. Castle was really bad all game, but overall, like, he was still only a -1. So defensively, I mean, nobody was guarding Brunson. The main issue I had with the Spurs was just not sending a single double team at the guy who was 45 points. When the Knicks' second best player, you can argue it's OG or Cat, but I'll say Cat for convenience, had 2 points in the entire damn game and was in foul trouble the entire game. And yet you did not send a single double team at Brunson, who was carrying the entire team on his back. You didn't give him a different defensive look the entire game, which was embarrassing. So that goes back to Mitch. But nice job by Brunson to carry. Nice job by the other Mitch, Robinson, who played some big minutes with Cat in foul trouble. But yeah, no double teams in 48 minutes when the guy's got 45 points. Just sums up the entire Mitch Johnson experience in this NBA Finals. I got nothing else to add. You have anything else you want to add?
Not yet.
Okay.
First, I do want to add is that we got to talk to people about Rocco. Sportsbook and casino available in a ton of different states. Wednesdays are for blackjack. Play blackjack on Wednesdays. Get 50% of your losses back. Depositing, withdrawing. Very easy. And get 100% purchase match up to $100 and a 100% boost token at Bracco using promo code SGPN. That's Bracco, BRACCO, promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Underdog. Make sure you go make a pick'em entry over there. Underdog, pick higher or lower your favorite players' fantasy stats. They're available in a ton of different states, so you can get in on the World Cup and Major League Baseball as well. And WNBA is too. Hey, Underdog's got a brand new awesome offer for new customers. Play just $5. Get $50 in bonus funds when you use that sign-up code NBA SGPN. All right.
Any final remarks?
Brunson is the greatest Knick ever.
Okay. I would still go Clyde, but Brunson's definitely top 2. Can I argue he's 1B Knicks all time?
I think he is 1 with potential to be like super 1.
Yeah, but you're stepping on my joke. Brunson being 1B
I
Knicks
know.
all time. I mean, come on.
I know, but no. We are not making those types of jokes anymore. Those are not the funny
No, but if
jokes
you make those jokes, maybe he'll win another one next year just to prove everyone wrong. To get you a second ring. So there you go.
Because they're not. She's not going to walk back the comments.
No.
I can't wait till the Aces. I can't wait. Isn't it today? Don't the Aces play today?
They beat the Wings over the. Yeah, they do not. Yeah, they play the Wings today.
Yep.
It's in Dallas, but.
Yep. Can't wait. Can't wait. I gotta go. I might have to. Do I know the PR person in Dallas to send the email real quick? I might have to zoom into that media call. I might have to pose the question myself. So, Becky.
Did you enjoy the NBA Finals?
Rebecca. I should say.
Rebecca Hammond.
So, Rebecca, I'm just wondering if you had a chance. It's a very strong start to the season. Y'all are doing well. Congratulations. But just wondering if you've happened to look up at TV recently, see the NBA Finals. What's going on? Do you know at all? I need to say.
And for Brunson, by the way, the last point I'll make, which is we talked about it briefly, but I'll go a bit more in depth on it. I know Giannis dropped 50 in a closeout game. I know we've seen a couple of monster closeout games, but Brunson dropping 45 with basically no help the entire game. Josh Hart hit a couple of big threes to keep them in it in the second and third quarters. OG was not very good in the game. He was great the entire series. Didn't exactly
OG was
have
in foul trouble. Him and Cat, both of them.
I know Cat was awful. Cat had an abysmal game.
And the thing is, they were calling some of the most Cat doesn't need any help fouling. He doesn't need any help fouling people. You don't have to call the ticky-tack stuff.
And besides that, Wemby should have been suspended for Game 6, but we're never going to see that because they didn't.
Should have been suspended. Definitely should have been suspended.
Yeah, he tried to kill the guy. But anyway, the point is, Brunson basically had. I don't want to say no support, but basically no support from guys all series. Bridges had a couple of shots. Hart had a couple of shots. OG and Cat were definitely not good in the game. Cat was useless. I mean, he was horrible the entire game. But anyway, Brunson found a way as this short number one option, based on the words not mine, but of other people, to carry his team to a championship on the road, down 16 in a closeout game, while dropping basically half of his team's points. 45, with basically no help at all. It's all heart. So shout out to Brunson. I wanted to just go a bit more in depth on his performance because you look at the stat line and go 45, but you forget they were down 16. Like, they could have rolled over. Brunson carried the team the entire fourth quarter. Couple of really dumb fouls by Spurs on three-pointers. You know, don't hate the player, hate the game. That's how it goes. Don't foul. That's just stupidity on your part. But
some not called.
Correct. But Brunson did what he needed to do, dropped 45 in a low-scoring Scott Foster rock fight, and they won the title. So shout out to Brunson, an all-time great closeout game. Especially in the NBA Finals.
Which is, whoa.
Yeah.
They tried to hold me back right there. They knew. This is what, and you know what? This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna let them off easy. Because I have all summer. I have all next season. By the way, want to point out, Knicks broke the curse. First team win the NBA Cup and an NBA championship in the same season.
Well, they're also the first team to like make the finals and make the conference finals with the NBA Cup. So nobody's been good with the NBA Cup besides the Knicks. So there you go. They own the NBA right now. They own every trophy.
It feels like the Grammys.
Also, shout out to Kolick for getting an A on the group project.
Shouts out to a lot of people.
And Alvarado, who pulled it all-nighter and probably got a chopped cheese in the morning. Shout out to Alvarado.
Shout out to Jeremy Sohan, who got into Victim Wembanyama's head.
Yep.
And that's it. All right. Next year, NBA championship.
Well, also one name. You mentioned it in passing, but mainly because they fired Tibbs. Shout out to Mike Brown, who got to the finals like 20 years ago. They got swept by the Spurs, jumped around the league, assistant coach in Golden State, goes to Sacramento, calls out Sacramento basically for Fox being an idiot in late game situations, which aged very well, by the way. Got fired by Sacramento, and you figure, well, that's probably rock bottom, getting fired by Sacramento, getting blown out in Game 7, step drop.
No. You just get the head coaching job at the New York Knicks.
Get the head coaching job with the Knicks, and you win a title in your first year. So shout out to Mike Brown for a career redemption arc, which is phenomenal. Basically 20 years, give or take, in between finals appearances, and he wins a title. So props to Mike Brown. Shout out to you. That's the last point I'll make.
All right, 2026-2027 NBA Finals odds. San Antonio Spurs open up as the overarching favorite at plus 250. OKC's right behind them, plus 260. Boston Celtics, plus 550. My New York Knicks, plus 650. And then the odds drop off to everybody else in the league. You got the Pacers and the Lakers and the Nuggets, who are all 28-1. You got the Timberwolves and the Pistons, who are 30-1. The Cavs, 35-1. The Heat are 40-1. The Warriors, 45-1. Rockets, 60-1. 76ers, 55-1. Hell, Clippers, 75-1 for the hell of it. And you see how things are going to go. So, big drop-off in odds outside of the first four teams. Scott, first thoughts.
My first thoughts are I agree with the drop-off. I think that it definitely makes sense that after these top four teams, you have a massive jump in odds of basically $20. Like, do I think the Lakers are good enough? No. Do we know if LeBron's going to be back? No. Like, there are a lot of question marks with this team. Reeves might be gone. I imagine they're going to match whatever contract offer he gets in the offseason, but there's a chance he's gone too. But is Luka going to stay healthy for an entire season? Probably not. Like, I think the Lakers being that big of a price makes sense. The Pacers are definitely the popular dark horse pick because they were in the finals last year. They got Zubac. They traded a top 5 pick for him, but still, they got Zubac, who's going to be coming back next year. Like, the Pacers, we know, play a certain brand of basketball that's very difficult to deal with, especially in 7 games. And you could argue that if Halliburton stays healthy and if this team does end up having a certain, I'd say, return to glory, they are good enough to win the East. We'll see what they do in the offseason. We'll see what happens. Of course, Mathurin was a piece that got shipped off for Zubac. And I am not a Miles Turner guy, but I thought Matherin was a good piece off the bench, who's not there anymore. So we'll see how they look. Zubac is not exactly the same floor spacer that Turner is. I'm not a Miles Turner guy, but you at least had to account for him on the three-point line, which opened up the spacing for the rest of the team. So we'll see how Indiana looks, but Indiana's a popular dark horse pick based on what happened 2 years ago. Denver, look, I love Jokic. Murray's getting paid a lot of money. Christian Brown is having his extension kick in this upcoming season, and he's way overpaid. So I don't like Denver's chances just based on the roster makeup right now. I don't see them trading Jamal Murray. I don't think they can trade Brown. So based on that, I think the odds seem a bit right at 28-1. Minnesota's fascinating at 30-1 because if they end up reinventing some things, if they maybe get rid of Randall, if they maybe get rid of Gobert, you still have Ant, you still have a certain championship, at least, or I should say playoff, I'd say intensity and overall identity, which makes you play up the competition. San Antonio was really good. Your team was outmatched, and yet you still made it a series. We've seen them beat Denver a couple of times. We've seen them make respectable runs. They're going to try to do some things. It comes down to which teams you think can be aggressive enough in the offseason to reinvent their team while keeping their best player, basically. And Minnesota's proven with Connolly in the front office, they are not afraid of making some unexpected moves, maybe trying to get a Durant, for example, trying anything that can get them in striking distance of winning a title. So even though I agree it is right now basically a four-horse race, I'm not sure how high I am on Boston, but for the sake of this, we'll say a four-horse race. But if you're going for a long shot, you need a team that either had a bunch of injuries last year, like Indiana, who's proven they can get that far, or a team that is on the cusp that might make some aggressive moves in the offseason to help them get over the finish line. So Minnesota at 30-1, I thought was kind of intriguing at that price point. Indiana, we'll see. But for a long shot, I'd say tier, I think Minnesota at 30-1 is interesting. You have any thoughts? Just for the long shot tier, not for the actual favorites.
For my long shots here, Minnesota was my favorite out of the West for the long shots here. I don't think that they'll win, but I think the Dallas Mavericks are mispriced. I don't think that they're going to be towards bottom of the league bad.
Are we sure Kyrie's going to be here next year?
And that's really the thing. But like, if Kyrie Irving plays basketball for them, I think they'll be better than expected.
I think they might be more of a playoff bet as opposed to a title bet, but
that's what I was, and that's what I was thinking. But Minnesota was my favorite up the West, up 30-1.
Because I can see Minnesota doing something crazy. Like,
and it's honestly
for Durant.
Honestly, Minnesota doesn't have to do anything crazy. But like, if everything bounces their way, let's say that they have some type of season like the Knicks where injuries just pile up in the right way and everything go like, they could very well, very, very much be good.
For the sake of salaries, is it a possibility that you maybe find yourself in a spot where you trade a couple of draft picks and go Gobert for Giannis? Is that a possibility?
So that goes to my Eastern Conference team of who wins the Giannis sweepstakes, if there is a Giannis sweepstakes. The Heat at 40-1 are a popular name that is said a lot. I thought that honestly, I didn't know. Well, I don't think that Dallas has capital, but I thought that would be a good destination. And I'm also thinking returning players and what do these teams? I'm curious on what hire Portland makes because Portland had a good team and now you can add Dame to that team. So Portland is like interesting as one of those dark horses. But like, I think there's a lot of teams that are like, I'm like, okay, now we're getting to the NBA as we've seen through the past, 10 years. Mm-hmm. It's a different team every year. It's different couple of teams every year. We're not seeing the same team go year after year after year after year after year because guess what? It's really, really hard to go to the NBA finals.
And the apron system throws a wrench into, I'd say, long-term team building when you're constantly having to either trade players or overpay players. So that's definitely caused a lot of parity, which I like. But I have to ask you, though, if we're talking about the same tier with the Giannis sweepstakes, we're assuming Duran's going to get paid a lot of money, probably by Detroit during the offseason.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that could be a Giannis potential trade partner?
Mm-hmm.
I'm throwing out ideas here. Like, can we see a world where Duran gets flipped? It makes sense for Milwaukee. Milwaukee gets a young center who made an All-NBA team. Yes, he no-showed the entire playoffs, but a young All-NBA All-Star center and draft picks for Giannis, and it makes sense for Detroit as well. I can see Detroit being a potential Giannis candidate. Does that get them over the top if they get Giannis?
Well, yeah, it does get them over the top if they get Giannis, but I'm gonna say no as a potential trade candidate just because it'll make for a much better clip when it actually happens, and us being able to clip the show and say, "Oh yeah, Scott just sat here and told y'all that Detroit was gonna make some big move." And honestly, the Knicks just shifted the balance of power in the NBA. Now everybody's like, "Holy shit, the Knicks won the championship." Like
also for team building. Like, you can have one superstar, but you also need a bunch of solid 3-and-D wings and a bunch of other like solid team players.
Just shifted the balance. Everybody's going to be making moves. That's why, like, it's going to be a completely different conversation in July for sure.
I'm just throwing out teams that I think could maybe find themselves into this long shot tier that could sneak into the bottom.
Because this is the time to take them. This is the time to
take
them.
Yeah, correct. I think Detroit's got a chance at Giannis if they actually throw Duran into a trade package. I think Milwaukee would do it. Duran's still very young. So hypothetically, I can see that being a path for the Pistons if they choose not to run it back with the same core identically. So based on that, my two picks would be Minnesota and Detroit.
Minnesota, Miami. I just feel like Pat Riley's got something under his
I'm tired of picking Miami to do anything when he's been sleeping for the last 5 years. I can't. They get rumored to do stuff every year.
Then he wakes up and he just does something. Like
that was like 5 years ago.
Yeah, so now it's time for him to wake up and do something again. And
he let the Knicks win a title. Now he's going to try to win another title. Is that what's happening?
Literally. Like, I does that not sound? That sounds legit. Like, I feel like the balance of power and everybody. Boston's about to. We just heard Boston and Giannis things the day after the Knicks won a title. There's been no talk about Boston and Giannis, and then the day after the Knicks won a title is all this Boston and Giannis thing. Like, we shifted the balance of power in the NBA. Now everybody is scrambling and everybody's trying to make a big move.
Yeah, like the year prior when Indiana made it to the finals and the Knicks fired their coach immediately because they knew that they had to do something. So there you go. I do want to ask about Patrol, though. Patrol brought up the Rockets at 60-1 because they're getting Van Vliet back, a couple of question marks there. Adams coming back as well. I don't think I can trust the Durant-led team to ever win anything because I think psychologically he's just a follower, not a leader. I don't trust their head coach at all. They're bringing back Udoka, which I don't agree with whatsoever. So a mix of coaching and Durant leadership. I'm out on Houston, but they should be better assuming Van Vliet's healthy because, damn, they needed a point guard all season.
Better, not good enough for a title.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
All right. We'll close out final picks with the it's going to be those at the top or closer to the top of the bracket.
Correct.
But first, hey, greatest NFL handicapping contest is back in Circa and better than ever with $30 million in prizes. $20 million for Circa Survivor, $6 million for Circa Million, and $4 million for Grandissimo. You can sign up in Nevada and play from anywhere with a proxy. Head over to footballcontest.com. Use promo code SGPN to get $50 off your proxy fees. And Circa now takes Bitcoin. And you can get 15% off your stay at Circa with promo code SGP15 for contest weekend. We're also brought to you by Rhythm, the official data tool for dominating MLB, WNBA, golf, and the World Cup. Let Rhythm's models help you cash in and dominate the books. Each 7-day free trial. Tailor models or build your own. Use promo code SGPN25 when you download the Rhythm app and get 25% off your first month. That's download Rhythm. Use promo code SGPN25. All right. I'll just let you know. My top pick. I just think that the injury luck really bit OKC in the back half, and I still very much strongly think that they're the best team out of the West. I think that with healthy and SGA, it's really, really hard to beat them in a 7-game series. And I think they'll be looking for blood, and they'll probably it's a chance that they could run up against that San Antonio Spurs team again. It could be a chance that the Spurs get bounced early. But I think OKC is built to last and built to make multiple runs, and this year it just was an injury bug that got in their way. So would I place a bet on OKC plus 260 right now? Probably not because the odds are too low, but I think it's going to be OKC.
Yeah, I'll put it this way. I got OKC as well, but I think the Spurs being cheaper than the Thunder is just completely wrong.
Yes.
I think that's incorrect. I think they were very fortunate that J-Dub and Mitchell both got injured because I think the Thunder would have won that series, which is not a hot take because they went to 7 games anyway, and J-Dub barely played in that series. Mitchell barely played in that series also, and it still won 7 games. So I think the Thunder, when healthy, are better than San Antonio, but at the same point, Chet is a serious problem against Wemby for OKC. So we'll see if they end up making a move or not. Maybe they do something. I doubt it. We tend to see Presti keep the young core together and not trade really for anybody unless McCain falls into his lap. So I think he's going to keep the same core. The question is, can J-Dub and All-NBA caliber guys stay healthy? And if that happens, they're in good shape. So I'm going to go with the Thunder with you. The East is very interesting. Going into this past season, I had Knicks Thunder. So I was close. I didn't get there because the Thunder lost in Game 7. But I was pretty high on the Knicks going into the year. I was very high on the Thunder because why not? The Thunder walk into every regular season winning almost a guaranteed 65 games. So you know that they're going to have home court. Not that it matters because we saw the road team win 4 of the 5 finals games. Should have been, I mean, I can't say 5 of 5 because that would have caused a Game 6. But you get what I'm trying to say. Like, home court didn't matter at all. But the Thunder still should be able to rest guys at the end of the season because they're going to be so far ahead in the standings, which helps going in. So I'm on the Thunder with you. I think they should be the favorites. I think the Spurs being cheaper is disrespectful to OKC. There's no value on San Antonio, like at all. They're way too cheap. I think the Thunder make the most sense. The question is, do I pick a repeat of Thunder Knicks in the finals? Because I had that for this past year and it almost worked out. But the team that you didn't expect to lose ended up losing. So I am going to pick the Thunder. I'm not going to pick Boston because I don't trust Missoula at all. I know they won a title.
I don't think Boston can beat the Knicks. We've seen, and it's like people are saying, oh, well, they didn't have JB this year. We've seen the Knicks beat them with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown in a series. We've seen that already. So, like, I don't know. I don't think it's going to be Boston. That's what it makes it hard not picking the Knicks because I just don't see anybody else out the East right now. That's why I'm waiting for the Giannis chip to fall because that's ultimately probably the thing that would probably dethrone the Knicks is Giannis going to some other team and it just actually being good.
Yeah, and Boston's also cheap because, one, they still have 2 solid top 10 players in the league. They might flip one of them for Giannis, who's still a top 10 player. Is Giannis going to stay healthy? Probably not. I mean, it's a separate question mark you get if you acquire Giannis, but I don't actually like Missoula in the playoffs. And besides the one title year, they have been abysmal, losing as massive favorites in a bunch of separate playoff series, one of them to the Knicks. So I don't trust Boston enough to pick them, but it probably would be the Knicks right now. If Detroit got Giannis, we'd have some conversations, but the odds, of course, would drop heavily. But right now, I would go with my pick from last year. I would go Thunder Knicks. We'll see if Indiana can run it back with Zubac instead of Turner, because the spacing should be a bit different. But Indiana's a team I'd watch out for, but they're pretty popular. But I think OKC is the team that should be the favorites to win the whole thing.
All right, Scott, anything else for people before we get up out of here?
Not really. Once again, a fun NBA season. I know that we made a lot of money, especially in the playoffs, because Knicks money line cash in almost every game for the last month and a half. But either way, fun season, fun final game. And we had an unexpected winner based on the preseason, which is always fun. The parity continues, and we'll see what happens in the offseason. We'll have a couple of episodes for the offseason and a couple of, probably do one draft episode. I know Lonte's dialed into the draft every year. But either way, a couple offseason episodes, and that's kind of basically it. But thanks for tuning in to the season for the NBA Gambling Podcast. But that's basically going to wrap it up for the 25-26 season.
Hey, Scott said it better than me. Because you know what I was going to say. I only had one thing to say. One thing I need to say.
Bing bang.
He's at Reichel Radio. I'm at really raw __. Make sure you give us a follow at SGPN NBA, youtube.com/NBA Gambling Podcast, and give us a 5-star rating and review wherever you get your podcast. Yes, Scott.
Yeah, one other thing. Still on the same channel, but without the NBA season now, we still have the WNBA Gambling Podcast on this channel. If you're still on basketball, check out the WNBA show either on Spotify or Apple, but it's on this YouTube channel. But there will still be episodes for upcoming games on this channel
tomorrow,
just for WNBA.
Tomorrow, big slate on Wednesday. So
yeah,
probably be chatting about it tomorrow evening. All right. Well, with that, there's nothing else. Say nothing else to do. No other way of ending the podcast. Just gonna end it like this.
Bing bang. Bing bang. Bing bang.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I'm glad that you guys are just not with me every single day, because I'm probably gonna mission it every single day until, I don't know, next finals. We're out of here.